kicker has everything lined up and about set to get this one underway. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. We have got a tremendous matchup between these two running backs, both stars in their own right, and David, both ready to make a huge impact.
I mean, how fun is it to have two guys, one on each side, when they have the football, like they can go the distance. Just dynamic speed, great vision. These defenses are in trouble because these guys can touch it a bunch of different ways, and Palmer, they can hit home runs from anywhere on the field.
And I think what makes them really unique too, David, is that they're very versatile guys. Both guys can run between the tackle box. They can take it outside. They can both catch the football as well. So no doubt the game plan for both offenses, feed the running back as many different ways as possible and just let him go to work.
To the air, it's Mayfield. Fires to the tight end. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
And you see tight end matchups all over the field all the time now. It used to just be in the red zone. Now you just find the big fella, you put him in the slot, and try to give him the ball as much as possible because you know he can make big plays.
This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. Trying play action. Under fire. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
That is exactly how you set a tone when you're on defense, and especially when you're at home. If you can get them and force them into a punt early, keep that crowd going and involved, man, is it fun to play defense.
The punt team makes its way onto the field. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. They'll get down and put a stop to the return at about the 28-yard line. And are we ever lucky to see these two great quarterbacks in action here today? And, Jesse, it won't be long before we'll see them squaring off on Sundays.
Yeah, and these guys can both stress a defense for similar reasons, and we've seen it all year long, right? Both guys have tremendous arm talent, and both guys can hurt you running the football as well. So these defenses are really going to have to be careful with how they try and defend these two quarterbacks, David. This one could come down to which guy has the ball last.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. A big showdown. They know what's on the line. Man, these are two huge names, you know, brand versus brand, big-time baller versus big-time baller, trying to come out on top. Yeah, defenses, I feel bad for them today. That's not what this is about. This is about the QBs.
Bought a little time, lets it go.
Well, give the defense credit because they're forcing this quarterback to throw into very small windows under duress.
Now facing a 3rd and long. Dropping back, it's Tebow. Makes the grab. They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down.
Really nice job by the defense there. You're trying to force the quarterback to throw the football in front of you and allow your guys to square up and make a tackle out in space. You got to force the ball carrier to do something special after the catch. Not able to do it there, so really nice tactic by the defense.
They boot it away. He'll call for the fair catch and make it at the 14, and they'll be backed up to start this drive. Good news, I guess, a lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. He leaves it with his back. Sweet cut there. Brought down at the 25 after he picked up 10.
Well, he was able to gash him on that play. You just give this guy 1 inch, one little crease. He puts his foot in the ground. He gets north fast.
They've got it 1st and 10 from the 25. He'll keep it himself. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
Gets it to him on the screen. Caught, and he's close to a first down on the nice pickup there.
Love the execution there on the screen. The running back shows pass protect, last second turns around, so he's able to get the ball. The D linemen have already run past him. Now he can turn upfield for a big gainer.
Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on third down. He'll try to get it through the air. Finds his tight end. He'll have enough for the first down, and they stop him at the 45.
And it's on third downs like this, if you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for the tight end. Really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback really has a lot of confidence when he's in the pocket looking for the big fella, and they're able to hook up there.
He'll do it himself. And they make the stop, and that will likely bring us to the end of the first quarter. We've reached the end of the first quarter, and it has been a defensive battle, and the stats tell the tale so far. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. Tried to pound it on first down, now back to the line. Back to pass, it's Mayfield. Firing to the right, complete. Oh, he just handled it poorly, and it's a fumble. And the defense jumps on it, and they get that turnover.
Great job by the defense here, forcing the fumble on the wide receiver. Look, understanding the ball came out quick. I got to break, get hats to the football, secure the tackle, try to get that football out. Nice turnover, nice hustle by this defense.
Guys, this offense will go back on the attack. Give to the running back. After the pickup of 9, it's 2nd and 1.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in 2nd and short, not a good job by this defense.
They'll go to work in the air on 2nd down. Caught. They knock him down at the 40. It's a pickup of 5, and that will be enough for a first down.
Well, the defense did a nice job taking everything away down the field, but once the drag route was caught, they just couldn't rally to the ball carrier in time to make a tackle, and as a result, new set of downs.
They'll put it in play from the 40 on 1st and 10. Quickly out to the tight end. Good pickup on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4. There's not a lot more beautiful in football than the play action and the open tight end.
Yeah, because it freezes those linebackers. It freezes those safeties because they have to come up for a second and play the run. And then the big tight ends, big targets on the back end can catch the football and make big plays.
Going to swing it on 2nd down. He's going to take off. Turning it on. Picks up the first down and gets down to avoid contact.
Nice job by the QB, sitting back in the pocket. You can tell he wants to throw the football, go through his progressions. Nothing home, take off, and slide. I love the slide at the end. Don't take a big shot.
From the 14-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Power football with the run. Brought down, but not before he bowled his way inside the 10 to the 8. The clock winds down to 2 minutes, and we will take a pause for the 2-minute timeout. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Looking to throw, it's Tebow. They're working that left side. That completion has them right on the doorstep. They'll mark it at the 1.
And when this quarterback is in a rhythm, this offense is really hard to stop. You've seen that on this drive. He's 3 for 3, but they're also running the ball well. Everything they're dialing up right now is working.
Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. D showing blitz. They might be bluffing. The big fellas coming out in the goal line defense. Trying to pound it in. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? Wants to go up top. Snagged in the end zone. Velcro on the hands, and it's a touchdown.
And the big fella runs right down the middle of the field, runs the post route. You could tell quarterback locked into him, throws it up high, lets him catch the football, use his big body to kind of fend off the defenders and get in the end zone for 6.
They get set for the point afters. We have the first score of the game. And the extra point makes it 7-0. That drive covered 55 yards for the score. And they cap the drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Returner's going to try to see what he can get. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. They'll start this drive from the 18-yard line. Looking for a man. It's Mayfield. It's complete to the left.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver. And you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Completion a little short of the sticks. It's 2nd down. Back to pass. That one comes out hot down the right side. Across the 50-yard line on the huge pickup, and he's out of bounds at the 45.
And you just wonder now, is that the play that's finally going to wake this offense up? They've been sluggish throughout the entire first half, but could that be the thing that finally just gives them a little bit of a jolt and leads them to scoring some points here before this half is over?
To the air on 1st down. Makes the catch.
When you run your slant route and it's against man-to-man, one thing you know you're going to get is hit. When that wide receiver catches the football, slants don't open up wide open. Linebackers are going to be there, safeties are going to be there, so you got to be able to take that hit and hold on to that football.
2nd down coming up. Looking to fire. Finds the tight end. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains.
That's just a very easy, comfortable throw for the quarterback. He knows he has his big target, the tight end, running across the field on the drag. Nice play.
This offense has had trouble getting it in gear, but maybe a little life here on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. He'll pull it down and run. Nice job by this junior quarterback to get it done on the ground.
Sometimes these guys just have eyes in the back of their head. You saw it right there. He was able to buy himself time, get outside the pocket, and at that point, I think the decision was pretty easy. Hey, I can go get this with my feet. He was able to do that. Now they got a fresh set of downs.
They're in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 20. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. They're down to the 20, 1st and 10. To the air, it's Mayfield. Chunked it away just as he was hit. Nobody open, he just throws it away, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
We just have not seen this offense look very sharp so far in this game, running or throwing it. In the second half, throwing it specifically, I think they need to find a better rhythm. They've got to find a way to get some completion strung together.
Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Wants to throw, he's working against the clock. He just tossed that one out of bounds. You avoid the sack, you avoid the turnover. You've got more plays here on 3rd down.
Well, nice job by the defense here in back-to-back plays. 2 straight incompletions, giving up some yards, and the opponent's in field goal range. This is a place a lot of D coordinators like to send the blitz. Because if you sack the quarterback and create a negative play, you knock them out of field goal range.
Oh, and he missed it. No good. After that miss, still a 7-point game, guys.
Oh, man, the dreaded doink when you knock it off the crossbar. Those are ones where, man, just a couple inches to the other side, towards the middle, and that thing's in, but it still counts as a missed opportunity.
And with time running out here in the first half, the offense will take a knee, content to be on top as we head to the break. We've played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
All right, guys, looks like we've got a great one in South Bend going on. And yes, football is a game of inches, but man, is that really the case when you consider the length of some of these possessions. Look, I'm not an analytics guy, but I do know this. The team that sustains drives and just moves the sticks might be the team that comes out on top today. And with that, let's send it back to the home of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
They're lined up and ready to kick off this second half. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. And the offense takes over to dip into its bag of ball plays. First play from scrimmage, and they'll keep it on the ground. Into the pile, maybe got one. He stopped at the 21.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down, and they got to keep that up here in the second half.
To the air, it's Tebow. Looking down the middle. Makes the grab. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the first down.
And if you had any questions about this quarterback's arm talent, now you've got your answer. Wow.
The offense setting up shop at the 46, 1st and 10. To the ground with the back. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Man, when you go into the half and you're down, like that speech is usually pretty fiery. A lot of words you can't use on television. And so this coaching staff probably challenged their guys, and I like the way they started this second half so far. Physically, flying around, doing a great job stopping the run. They got to play like this the rest of the game.
Missed his receiver there. It's incomplete.
And that was good defense again, and unfortunately we've been saying that all game long. Really, really good defense. Or, listen, you can spin on the other side. This offense has really been bad.
Now trying to keep this drive alive on 3rd and long from the 45. From the gun, wants to pass. Grabbed over the middle. It's Harvin. Breaks into the open. He gets it to the 38-yard line, and they'll pick up a fresh set of downs.
And that's a huge 3rd down conversion by the offense there. It's 3rd and long. You've got to lead, not by a lot. Quarterback, though, very poised. Reads the coverage, throws it in rhythm, and you stay on the field.
They're lining up on 1st and 10 from the 38. Here's a quick throw out to the left. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Defense came into this one prepared for these quick receiver screen passes. Nice job beating blocks at the point of attack and rallying to the football.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Snagged in the middle. It's Harvin. He's there to make the stop, but the damage has been done as they pick up the first down on the throw and catch.
Who says in the RPO pass game you can't throw anything vertically downfield, right? It doesn't all have to be screens and throws to the line of scrimmage. There's a good example of a quarterback pushing the ball vertically downfield after the play fake to the running back.
They'll move the tight end. They're in the red zone, and they'll pass it. Quick strike complete. They'll spot the ball at the 12 after that completion.
And that's a good job by the drag route there, understanding its zone coverage. So instead of continuing to run across the field, he settles down into an open spot, making it easy for his quarterback.
Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Looking to throw, it's Tebow. Grabbed behind the line, it's Finley. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up. Defense with a chance to put a stop to this drive. Ninth snap coming, it's 3rd and 4. From the gun, wants to pass. Here's a heat. He's got it and still on his feet. Goes out of bounds, but they'll be set up with a 1st and goal.
When you're a playmaker like this guy is, your coaches are going to dial up plays intended for you, especially on 3rd down. That's what you saw in that last play. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that football. All week long, they decided on the biggest downs of this game, we're going to target our best player, and we're going to make sure that he gets looks. It doesn't matter what the coverage is. You saw it right there on that play.
One quarter to go, and might we have the makings of a classic 4th quarter finish. They'd love to start this quarter off with a touchdown right here. They'll try to get it in with the run. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
And this situation here on 2nd down is the exact situation this offense wanted to stay out of. You got the lead late in the ball game. You want to get positive yards, keep that clock ticking. Now in a situation, it's interesting. Do they want to throw the football? How much do they trust their quarterback not to make a mistake here late in the football game with the lead?
He's got it on the run. They'll mark him down at the 2. The excellent execution on that throw and catch.
Such a tough spot to be in on defense because you're trailing, you're expecting the offense to run the football. They just did it on the last play, and then on a critical 3rd down, they go play action, and they throw it over your head. You got to feel for this defense.
Trying to bully their way in. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible.
And decision time coming for this offense. How about the defense? They've hung in there, Palmer, made him earn it all the way down. Now, are you going to go for it on 4th down?
Yeah, you know, after running so many plays offensively on the drive, I know it'd be disappointing to only walk away with a field goal, but you'd feel even worse if you went for a touchdown and didn't get it. I think you kick it right here.
So after the last drive ended with a field goal, the kickoff team out there to send it away. Bringing it back. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. From the gun, running back on the move. Able to pick up a couple before he's dragged down at the 19.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the 1st half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points. So either get it done through the air or you've got to be more physical up front.
And they'll stop him just short of the 1st down, just inches away from moving the sticks.
Listen, the defense gave up a couple of yards, but they're happy to give that up because they know the clock is still ticking. They're trying to bleed this thing. If you want to throw it over the middle of the field inbounds, they'll give that to you all day.
Now looking for that 1st down on 3rd and short from the 26. Looking to throw, it's Mayfield. They'll run the screen. Makes his man miss. That'll be good enough for a 1st down. They'll mark it at the 30.
Man, a great job by the QB finding the running back, getting the football where he can do some damage after the catch, and most importantly, get the 1st down.
They'll snap this one from the 30 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on 1st down. Intercepted, and the defense has set him up. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back.
And that's kind of what this offense has done all day. They have struggled. They haven't gotten a rhythm. They haven't found a way to get points on the scoreboard. And late in this game, when your defense and your team really needed it the most, Palmer, they throw the INT.
And it's a microcosm, too, of just how dominant the defense has been. They've always been a step ahead. They've been the more physical side, and they've been making plays on the back end. That interception should seal this thing.
Motion from the wide receiver. They'll keep it on the ground. The clock is on their side. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
How about the job by this defense today? They knew what they were getting into. A really good running back. We talked to him this week. It was the main focus point of this offense, stopping the run game, stopping the run game. Boy, have they showed up and showed out and answered that challenge.
Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. And they don't want to waste this great field position here on 3rd and long. The give to the tailback. He stopped right at the 29-yard line, and it'll be 4th down.
You got to give this defense credit because they have bottled this guy up all game long. He's one of the best running backs in all of college football. Everybody was expecting him to have a big one today. Don't tell that to this defense, though. They've played with great effort. They've gotten hats to the football, and they have been able to shut him down.
No good. Guys, a double-digit lead is good, but more would have been better.
And sometimes I just feel like 4th down, man. Just go for it every time. Like the field goal miss-make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but you left some points off the scoreboard there.
Dropping back, it's Mayfield. Setting up the screen. And it's pretty obvious there was a big hole in that screen, and the defense ran right through it.
Well, they're trying to set up the screen pass to the running back, just nowhere to go after he caught the football. The defense completely swarmed around him, and that's a loss.
Well, after not getting a thing done on 1st down, it's 2nd and long from the 24. Wants to go up top. It's complete on the right side. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
And the offense gets the ball out pretty quick. But, man, if you're going to do that, that's fine. But we got to get the 1st down, or we got to get out of bounds so we can stop the clock. This offense, they've got to execute a little bit tighter down the stretch of this close football game.
Bad offense, good defense, no scoring. That's pretty much what we had in this one as they come up short in a bit of a slog fest.
Yeah, and most of the time in college football, it's the opposite, right? You don't defense optional. Offense scores so many points. This one, back and forth. Offense is struggling, trying to make plays. Defense has put on a great effort.
And a lot of issues for this offense in this game today, obviously, and I think the coaching staff now really needs to take a look at how they're game planning and how they're going to give their players an opportunity to have success. It may be time now to start changing some things up a little bit.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.